FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Monday edition here in World of Warships. I am feeling much better than Friday, so thank you for those who commented, wishing me well, thoughts, and lifting up some prayers. As I've had COVID, and I am glad to be, for the most part, pretty much over at this point. Just some coughs, and I can feel a little bit of stuffiness in my head, but other than that, a lot better. So on Friday, in discussing that I had COVID, I played a little clip of a Stalingrad video and battle I had, and I talked about the good times I've had in Lenin. So I felt only natural it was time to bust out this replay in the Lenin. I'm with my two clanmates, Curly and Void. The Lenin is a premium Russian battleship, tier 8. Was removed in either, I think it was 9.4 or 9.5, I can't remember which of the two, last year. So then I decided, you know what, I've seen good things on a Lenin, let me go ahead and pick it up before they pull it out of the premium shop. And I don't think it's been back since they've pulled it out. But it's a ship you don't see that often in the matchmaking, but I think it is just such a good ship. The Lenin she never existed in real life. She was one of the variants of a high-speed battleship with a 460mm battery, known as Project 21, developed under the Big Fleet program. A distinctive feature of the project was the concentration of the main battery turrets in the ship's bow. So let's talk about the pros and cons of this ship real quick. The B turret has a 360-degree turning, so it allows for more flexibility when kiting compared to other designs with all forward guns such as the Nelson or the Jean Bar. It has excellent forward firing angles, able to fire all guns at just 27 degrees off the bows. Superb gun handling with a base turret traverse speed of 6 degrees per second. Reasonably stealthy with a minimum concealment of 13.1 kilometers. Fast recharging damage control party. 100mm icebreaker bow helps mitigate overmatch from ships like the Yamato or the Musashi. Resistant to HE with thick deck and upper belt plating. And then we're going to get to the cons here in just a minute. I'm moving to this island here on the outskirts of Bravo because I want to get a crossfire position if ships push in on C. The danger is when you're pushing in like this, you could get smacked from across Bravo map with the ships pushing down to A. So that's the only thing you have to be conscious when you're pushing into this position. Now I have no idea what in the world this light cruiser in the Cleveland is doing. He is yellowing at the start of the battle, and I'm a little disappointed that those are all over matches, but he's just yellowing in, so almost kind of wondering. Again, he shouldn't be doing that right now at all. So it almost looks like a bot programming. Some players run bots on their account just to increase the number of battles they've played to some ridiculous sum. But that's rare. You don't see that often. So I think this is just a player who's deciding to just rush in maybe and doesn't really know what he's doing. So don't mind me. We will gladly take that. And then we look over here in the Golden Line, as they call it. It's not a bad ship. I don't know how to properly pronounce it. I just call it the Golden Lou, which I'm pretty sure is wrong. But he's AFK sitting there, so I'm going to throw some of these Russian shells his way. As far as cons for the ship, the penetration is low for a battleship, with values near the lower end of her overall matchmaking spread inferior penetration at all ranges to the Nagato, Japanese tier 7 battleship, and even the tier 6 American premium battleship, the West Virginia 1941. In comparison to the tech tree Russian battleship, the Lenin has worse Sigma than the Vladivostok. The AA defense leaves much to be desired, especially against tier 10 carriers, which I think you can say that for any tier 8 ship for that matter. Above water citadel is very vulnerable if improperly angled, and that will definitely troll you if you're not paying attention. And you can run out of damage control parties if improperly utilized, because they're the fast acting damage control parties have fast cooldown. They're only up for 10 to 11 seconds depending on how you do your commander build, which we have a commander build on the Lenin. I'll throw it up at the end of the battle if you want to check that out. But the above water citadel being vulnerable if improperly angled is definitely true. You can give a little more angle sometimes than what you think you have to, especially when you're bouncing incoming salvos from battleships. But then if you angle a little too much, or you're angling and giving a little bit more of your side than you should, then it is very easy for you to be citadeled with that above water citadel. So you have to be really conscious of that. So we've pretty much rolled through this flank. Now it's in between making this push through A. I loaded HE to deal with the Akazuki, and I forgot that I have HE loaded. Otherwise, I'd like to be switching over to the armor piercing right now, and you're going to see why shortly. But the armor piercing is good. The HE's, of course, it's not half bad. But I prefer running the armor piercing on Lenin because you can get to slap a lot of ships. So we have this French cruiser, or I think it's French, the Carnot Premium. On the other side there, I'm moving up through here. We've got this Conqueror in the distance pushing up towards Bravo. Okay, so we fire the HE there. Now, I should have been switched to the AP here. I wasn't paying attention. There's no destroyer in sight at the moment, and I'd rather have the armor piercing to deal with the Conqueror and this Carnot, because this Carnot is pushing up around the island, and so I'm kind of wondering, is he gonna come around this island broadside to me? So you can see we're turning, we're in this position, we get all of our turrets, and we're gonna cut the throttle. I mean, even kiting away, I feel like the angles on these guns aren't too bad to a certain extent. I'm not quite sure how far back I can get that C turret. So here I'm like, I'm drooling right now because I think I'm just gonna smash this Carnot, and then I realized I had HE loaded. So that was a bit frustrating, and a lot of players get confused. They think that the Carnot has torpedoes, but it doesn't. I think a lot of people just, I don't know if they get mixed up with the Napoli, but the Carnot does not have any torpedoes at all. And this is where you can see that B turret is coming into handy here. And the Carnot player is doing good for targeting the stern of the ship. But you can see, even though we're turning and angling away, I still have access to this B turret that has that 360-degree turn angle. So going this for that superstructure, and I have to turn an angle out because of the Conqueror. And there's another ship on the minimap, can't tell who it is, it's off to the south. So I had to angle away in this position, so I have to let my turrets turn all the way around. And he's going to give us this nice, juicy broadside, so I'm just really trying to get these turrets around to finish him off. These turrets have a really long reload time. So with that, and then I saved the other two turrets for the Conqueror. Yeah, not a whole lot going there, just overpins. I can't remember what I was talking about right before that happened. Now I have Kuznetsov. I run him on my Lenin. Okay, so you're about to see one of his talents take into effect. It's when you drop, I think, beneath 10% of HP, or it's a little more or something, where your health pool is beginning to be partially restored. The accuracy of enemy fire detected at your ship is decreased, and repairs in progress. So if you have a fire example, when that goes off, it immediately puts out any fires or floodings you have on your ship. So it's really nice. So I'm going to let that tick, and then I'll see if I'm able to heal back more and being able to use a repair party, which we should be able to in this situation. And here we are taking advantage of the Cyclone now. So if you notice, our guns are reloaded, but we have nothing to shoot at. So in Cyclone, why not go ahead and use the mini-map to fire on a target we think we might be able to hit. You can see there, I could see when the Edinburgh was hit, and yeah, so that was a Citadel, probably a Pitadel, if we're being honest. So when you are in a Cyclone, you have nothing to shoot at, your guns are reloaded. Then take advantage of the mini-map. I tend to do a good little bit of portion of damage, even to ships I can't see, but using your mini-map to place your aiming reticle on. So you can see whenever I'm looking around on the mini-map, you have this little aiming reticle. Right now it's on these islands right in front of me. And you get to use that and being able to help you as a player get some more of that damage in that otherwise you wouldn't have. I mean, that would have been a kill. If we didn't fire guns, we wouldn't have had a fourth kill. We wouldn't have another citadel to add to the mix. So don't be afraid to fire guns even when there's a Cyclone up and you can't quite see where the target is, especially when you have no other targets in visible range to shoot at. But we're now hoping to go for that Kraken Unleashed. You've used one of our repair parties. One of the things I was talking about previously about the guns on the ship is that they're longer than your stated 30-second reload time. With Adrenaline Rush right now, we're able to get it down to about that 30 seconds. Otherwise, it's 33, 34 seconds. I can't remember off the top of my head. And so we're watching the Odin off to our port. And we're not going to be able to grab that kill, and the Odin goes down. So, you know, that's something if I had just a little bit quicker reload time, maybe we could have polished off that Conqueror to grab the Kraken Unleashed, but it's all good. So that was a whiffed shot for sure. It's kind of like reacting. Before I was like pushing the trigger and I hadn't even targeted him yet, so that's why that first salvo went way high, and the second salvo was definitely a miss as well. But the Lenin feels quite maneuverable to me in terms of her rudder shift. Doesn't feel so bad. And it's nice having a decent speed at tier 8 and taking on the skewering and grabbing the Confederate before the match ends. So I just always have good times with Lenin. I've played it in Convoy, love it. Random battles, loving it. It's just a really strong ship. So if Lenin ever does come back up for sale, I'd recommend grabbing it. Over 150,000 damage, 4 kills, 4 citadels. You can see we even got use of our secondaries in that battle with getting the Confederate and Devastating Strike with over 850,000 credits earned, almost 13,000 experience, and 2,759 free XP. Going to team score, we're going to see we're going to top the team with over 2,500 base experience. When you're in a tier 8 in like tier 10 matchmaking, or you're just bottom tiered, and you perform well, you even get more experience overall. So it's actually quite nice considering how this battle wins. Here you can see the detailed report, the damage you did. You know, the Cleveland and the Golden Lou, we did a lot of damage too. Golden Lion, I'm sorry, I'll just call it the Golden Lion. So yeah, Lenin just performs really well, and you can see our credits and XP earnings here with premium accounts. So, like I said, the Russian is growing on me. Russian ships in the game. I haven't really played them until as of late. You know, I've only played Lenin. I think I've only played it 10 times in random battles, and I don't know how many times in Convoy. And I've had it for a year. But every time I hop in the ship, I always just have a really good time in Lenin. Especially when you have Kuznetsov, which is probably it was one of the best. If you were to try to get purchase a commander in the armory for coal, Kuznetsov is probably the first one you want to go for. And that is if you have a Russian ship to be able to put him on. I intend on running him up. Trying to figure that out still. If I'm running him up my battleship line for Kremlin, or running him up on Petropavlovsk, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with him. So yeah, Russian strength here in the Lenin. So as I said, I do have an upgrade commander build video of the Lenin already done. I'll throw that up here on the end screen so you can see that, or add a screen if you want to go check that out if you have the Lenin, or you just want to learn a little bit more about the ship as a whole. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you are subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.